You've read the press release now. We have a situation where 6 people apparently OD'd on fentanyl that have been smuggled into the prison. How do you get
Well, first of all,
how do you get drugs into a jail?
uh, first of all, it wasn't surprising. Fentanyl use has exploded threefold in the past 5 years on the streets, and of course, that's going to contribute directly into the jails. It is impossible for a corrections department to 100% accurately screen everything coming into their jails, even with use of body scanners. When people hear the word body scanners in jail, these are working body scanners for a jail environment. They're not what you're used to seeing when you go get an MRI or something with your doctor. They're limited ability and limited scope. So with the ability to smuggle things, with people's ability to ingest uh, any kind of controlled substance or ingest any kind of contraband in a closed smuggling device. Balloons are often used, at times condoms are used. They ingest it before going into the jail, and the staff would have almost an impossible time, 100% of the time, detecting it because of the limited ability of those scanners, even no matter how well trained the staff is.
So essentially, no surprise to you that something like this could happen. We've never heard in, I don't know, the 3.5 years I've been here, I've never heard of 6 inmates needing medical care, naloxone, Narcan, whatever you want to call it, within a matter of days. It seems like an extraordinary situation.
It is. The jail environment is tough. You have people rotating through there. I'm not exact count how many Deschutes County Jail has through there. They have a history of running a very good operation there. And with the explosion of the fentanyl or the opioids, it's not surprising that many people could be affected within a jail. And again, the staff is limited to the tools available out there currently being used in jail settings.
And tell me again what people would actually plan this. It appears that this gentleman had a warrant out for his arrest. So it's not unusual that people would know they were going to be incarcerated and plan it as a way of having some currency or something to sort of offer to their pals or sell to people once they get it.
Yeah, agreed. There's two options here. The person either swallowed immediately prior to being arrested, which I've seen that many times throughout my career. They'll immediately ingest it in a balloon or some kind of protective device, or they plan it ahead of time. They're going to turn themselves in because they have a parole warrant, a probation warrant, or just a strict restraining warrant, and they're able to use those drugs either as bargaining tools or to help themselves slowly come off any kind of addictions they have.
What about the danger to law enforcement, to our public servants who are having to deal with this stuff, maybe handle it, identify it, process it? What about the danger to them?
It's broad spectrum on this. The Oregon Sheriff's Association, the Oregon Chiefs of Police, the International Chiefs of Police have really been looking at this issue of either accidental exposure by officers and sheriff's deputies and troopers, or when they're processing scene, like you referred to. There's two ways you can ingest it. You can ingest it, transdermal by accidentally touching it, or you can actually ingest it accidental by brushing your eyes or touching your nose after you incidentally came into it. And the third most dangerous part, if it's airborne, if somehow the suspect is maybe throwing it inside the vehicle to get rid of it, and the officer happens to get close enough to ingest it through their breathing, that can lead to immediate death. Where the law enforcement has for the past 4 years really focused on is providing every officer with a Narcan or naloxone, and they carry it on their person or carry extra in their vehicles. I know at Ben PD numerous times it has been used to save citizens who have been exposed and immediately brought them back when they have overdosed. I'm sure the sheriff's office had the same encounter, but that's how they're countering it, using gloves and carrying a naloxone or any type of other anti-reversing drug.
So people should be aware this it's not just a danger to the inmates who are ingesting it. It is a danger to the people who are handling it in law enforcement, and can be an extreme danger, correct?
It is. Just a simple Google search will show you 3 or 4 officers throughout the United States in 2022 were accidentally exposed, but were saved through the use of the technology and good policies and carrying naloxone on their person. But again, you have to take it in the broad concept of we have seen a threefold increase in opioid addiction, with fentanyl being perceived to be the opiate that the individual was using. And it is so powerful that we see the increase in overdoses, because there is no way to tell the quantitative value or potency of the fentanyl when the user or the addicted individual uses it. And so that is what's leading us to this threefold increase in the threat of death from this.
Anything else we're missing about this event that I just don't know enough to ask? It seems like you're not surprised at all that something like this might happen in Deschutes County Jail, even if we've never heard of, 6 people at one time ODing.
Well, I don't think it's so much related to how many people OD'd over the fact that it's directly attributed to the massive increase in the amount of fentanyl we are seeing, period. So granted, 5 sounds like a lot, but it's one incident of smuggling is what it is, and 5 individuals happen to be participating in the use of the drug. But it's only one incident of smuggling. And again, the corrections officers are limited to the tools they have and the training they have, and those body scanners do not pick up everything. And lastly, it's impossible to keep a jail 100% free of any smuggling without such intrusive searches that it may lead to the court stepping in and saying these searches are too intrusive.